The Brooklyn Bridge bicycle lane is a 1.5-mile path connecting downtown Brooklyn with the financial district in Manhattan. On the Manhattan side, there are two entrances to the Brooklyn Bridge on Center Street, across the street from City Hall Park. There is also an entrance on Frankfort Street near Park Row, but this entrance is not recommended since it is very narrow and involves stairs. On the Brooklyn side, the entrance to the Brooklyn Bridge is at the intersection of Tillery Street and Adams Street. There is also an entrance to the Brooklyn Bridge at Washington Street near Prospect Street, but this is also not recommended since it involves stairs. However, it is the most convenient entrance to the Brooklyn neighborhood of Dumbo. The Brooklyn Bridge is the most direct route between Brooklyn and the financial district. It is relatively flat and the least hilly of all the East River crossings. However, it is often overrun with pedestrians, especially during midday hours, weekends, and holidays. A loud bell is highly recommended for traveling during these hours. The bike lane is a two-way lane that carries both Manhattan and Brooklyn-bound traffic. It is separated from the pedestrian lane by paint. One must constantly be on the lookout for pedestrians at all times, as the bridge is a major tourist attraction. The path can be narrow at times, especially near the Frankfort Street entrance in Manhattan and near the trunk cable bases, where the shared path is only 10 feet across. However, the most dangerous parts of the bridge are at the two towers, where pedestrians often cross the bicycle lane to take pictures, and there are blind spots when cornering. This area at the Washington Street entrance on the Brooklyn side of the bridge is extremely problematic, as pedestrians must cross over the bicycle lane to continue across the bridge. Directly past this area is the infamous cattle chute, where the path narrows drastically. However, the city is working on expanding this area, and part of it has already been completed. I have found a loud bell to be the most effective way to alert pedestrians and other cyclists to your presence. However, when the bridge is crowded, I would recommend you not to take this bridge at all, and instead consider other alternatives, such as the Manhattan Bridge, the subway, or the NYC ferry service. Extra caution must be practiced when it is raining or snowing, as it makes the Brooklyn Bridge's wooden deck and metal surfaces extremely dangerous and slick. Despite all of these negatives, the Brooklyn Bridge can be a very pleasurable experience to ride when there are very little pedestrians, and I actually prefer to take this bridge when there are not too many people, as it is very flat and allows me to get to Manhattan quickly and to the downtown area. The scenery is absolutely gorgeous, and the views of the Manhattan and Brooklyn skyline never get old. And also, you can catch some interesting things on this bridge, such as this guy doing a handstand right here. Just be careful not to crash into him, okay? In terms of connections to other bike lanes, Reed Street on the Manhattan side allows you to connect to the West Side and the Hudson River Greenway extremely quickly. And if you're traveling from the West Side to access the bridge's entrance, Warren Street via the City Hall Park allows you to do just that. On the Brooklyn side, the bridge easily connects to J Street, Adams Street, and Cadman Plaza East, which turns into Washington Street, for easy access north and south of the bridge. In conclusion, The bridge gets a 1 out of 10 for safety when pedestrian traffic is high, and I would again not recommend to take this bridge when there is heavy pedestrian traffic and seek alternatives. However, the bridge gets a 7 out of 10 for safety when there is light pedestrian traffic, such as in the early morning or late night, and it is a pleasurable experience to ride. The reason why I do not rate it higher is because the bridge is still very narrow at parts and you still don't know what to expect. In addition, the Brooklyn Bridge's wooden deck when there is precipitation makes it very dangerous and slippery, so take it slow. The bridge receives a score of 8 out of 10 for connections to other bike lanes, as the many access points connect you to wherever you need to go very quickly. The reason why I do not score the Brooklyn Bridge a perfect 10 in this category is because when traveling downtown to the financial district, you must make a left onto Park Row and then merge onto busy Broadway, which may be very dangerous for many. The only category the Brooklyn Bridge scores a perfect 10 on is the scenery, because you cannot beat views of the Manhattan skyline, especially at night and during sunsets. It is absolutely gorgeous to see the city from a different light. Overall, the Brooklyn Bridge scores a 6.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching.